this hollow ache inside my chest, a craving for silence to escape the hum of fluorescent lights and computer clicks. I want more from this life. So when fate allows, I run from this city. Run far away from this maze of steel and neon monoliths into the green lungs of nature, to a place where time is kept not by clock, but the falling of pine needles. This time around, my escape was a solo trip to Mount Rainier. No map, no compass, no plan, just a pack and the will to disappear. I started by following faint scars left by past wanders, and once dusk folded over the ridge, I'd found a clearing to settle into. A meadow that seemed to open its arms to me, like long-lost friends finally reunited. The spot was a bit exposed, and my gut said keep walking. But something about this quiet invitation was too strong to ignore. So I pitched my tent, lit a fire, whispered a prayer, and watched as sparks rose to join the vibrant tapestry of stars above. And for the first time in years, the world had forgotten my name. I was at peace. I was content. I was finally alone. Or so I thought. What a fool I was. For the night is patient, a trickster goddess cloaked in silence, calmly waiting for the naive to sleep. And when you finally do, the insidious rituals begin. And on that first night, it watched as my eyes grew heavy, ready to pounce the moment they shut. Then, suddenly, a sound jolted me awake. Faint, misplaced, and unfamiliar. An anomalous hush outside my tent. I didn't recognize the sound, so I quietly unzipped the entrance to look. Heart hammering, hands trembling, I peeped through the small opening, and that's when I first saw it. That thing that, even now, haunts my dreams. There, next to my fire, scarcely illuminated by the ombre glow of dying coals, sat a man, alone, dressed in pressed slacks, a white buttoned shirt but no tie, and black shoes polished to a mirror sheen. His jet black hair, slicked back and neat. He carried no pack, no light, and no logical reason for him to be there, especially alone. He didn't look like a hiker, not to me at least. He looked more like a mourner attending a wake, a father keeping vigil at the wrong grave. Nothing made sense. Lost in thought, I watch as he leans forward, his gaze still sunk deep in the cinders, dress shoes kicking at the ashes. Then he lifted his head, slow at first, then with a quick, violent snap, as if his skull was yanked upwards by an invisible noose. Our eyes then met briefly, sharp, empty, bottomless. Then he stood and slowly backed away from me, never once breaking his stare. And just like that, he was gone, consumed by the darkened void, vanishing into the silence of the trees, as if they too were holding their breath. By morning, I had forced reason upon fear. Maybe he was just a hiker, an unusual overnight guest. Or maybe he's just a hallucination. Regardless, I strap a knife to my hip just in case, before dipping deeper into the wild. And for the next 2 days, the forest gave me uninterrupted peace. I finally found the peace I searched so desperately for. The seclusion lasted so long, any thoughts of him had long since faded. But on that third night, when the rustling returned, I was quickly reminded of the truth. I'm not alone. This time the sounds were much closer, but I didn't react. I just listened, eagerly searching for a familiar noise. Trying to convince myself it's an animal, but it wasn't. And that's when I first heard him speak. His cadence, a torturous echo burrowing into my mind, an ominous vibration from the dark. His tone was deep and heavy, yet slow and precise. Each word spoken with deliberate clarity, sounding almost too articulate to be human.
Bell's Canyon. Bell's Canyon. Do you know the way to Bell's Canyon?
A simple question, yet sung like a curse. I don't know. I'm sorry, I replied, immediately regretting I said anything at all. The air thickened in silence until he spoke again, a bit closer this time.
I said, do you know the way to Bell's Canyon?
Now, far too close, I was ready for a fight, so I burst from my tent, flashlight frantically slicing through the dark in search of him. But it didn't take long. There he was, standing near a tree, Tall, thin, pale, half-hidden, and alone. The same man who sat at my fire. He's been stalking me for 2 days now, and I never knew.
What? Turn it off.
The man commanded. Not with a shout, but stern with authority. A first, but final warning. And for some reason, as if possessed, I obeyed. I switched the light off, lowered my arm, and surrendered to the night. Emboldened by the dark, he drew closer still, moving with silence, never giving away his position. Like an unseen ghost, haunting the living, its presence unmistakable yet hidden. But then I felt it. His hot, moist, foul breath brushing against the skin on my cheek. Panic snapped me free, and I flicked the light back on. His face, only inches from mine now. His eyes wide and feral, fixed on top, a manic grin stretched far too wide. He stared at me in silence for a while, just staring, before spitting at my feet and then running away into the black. Swallowed whole by the dark he came from. At dawn, I too ran away, desperate to put space between him and I. My lungs burned, vision blurred, branches tore at my sleeves, ripping away at skin and flesh. But I didn't stop. I didn't quit. I kept moving. As the distance grew, shadows drew long and my manic thoughts began to wane. Reason and clarity had returned. Yet, as my mind cleared, a cruel truth hit me. A fact I had chosen to forget until now. It took 2 days to get here. It will take at least 2 to get out. Realizing this, I stop and make camp, settling in for the night ahead. I crawl into my sleeping bag, cover my head, and then I wept in silence. That night, he promptly returned. Twigs snap, gravel shuffles, leaves whisper. A deliberate announcement that he's arrived. Tonight, he started the unholy ritual by methodically circling my tent while repeating his aberrant query over and over.
Bell's Canyon, Bell's Canyon. Do you know the way to Bell's Canyon?
Again and again, round and round, each orbit closer, each repetition louder. His rotting fingers traced the tent's thin fabric wall like a lover's mock caress. And as his speed grew, so too did the sounds. The panting, moaning, groaning, the laughing, a demonic chorus filling the forest. But I just laid there, determined to go unnoticed until dawn's arrival, like a prisoner on death row, awaiting a midnight pardon. Yet once light bled through the pines, he vanished again. Just as I had hoped, gone as suddenly as he came. The forest took a deep sigh, but I didn't. I couldn't. It was too soon to catch my breath. For daylight won't save me. It only delays him. The cure to this curse is to complete the ritual, to play the part of prey. So I left and started running, trying my best to outrun the setting sun. Yet like each day before, I failed, for the night is always too close behind, calm and patient, waiting for its chance. And the chance came again that night. As if scared to let me go, the dark stretched like purgatory. Anxious, I simply sat and waited for his return, having no delusion sleep would come tonight. The silence reigned for hours, longer than expected. So long I almost believed he was gone, that I raced the devil, and somehow won. But once that silence broke, hope and sweat seeped from my pores in equal measure. Now hollow, his words split me in two.
Bell's Canyon, Bell's Canyon. Do you know the way to Bell's Canyon?
His tone was calm, almost amused, each word memorized, each movement rehearsed, as if acting out lines from Dante's Inferno. But if true, that makes me Dante, doesn't it? And this place, only the first ring of hell. As my mind raced, he continued to circle, muttering something low and frantic. Then he began to run, while singing some grotesque, unintelligible rhythm of both man and beast. The ground quivered with each stomp, round and round, grabbing at the tent walls like a wild animal. I remained still, silent, unheard, but I didn't know if I could last. The air grew thick and sour, with each breath squeezing what little life was left from my lungs, as if it were my destiny to die. in this polyurethane tomb. Yet, as dawn broke, the curse came to an abrupt end. His footsteps calmly drifted away, as if he'd just clocked out after a long night's shift. And just like the nights before, he simply vanished without a trace. I broke camp in a frenzy, knowing my escape must be close. Wasting no time, I burst into a blur of motion, only stopping when my knees buckled, demanding that I rest. Hours passed like this, before the tree line finally broke, and when it did, I was paralyzed by what I saw. Not by fear, but with revival. There in the distance, I finally saw it. I saw the parking lot. I saw my car, my escape, my salvation. Never has the work of man looked so beautiful. The asphalt, once a blemish on nature's face, now shimmered in the sun like a divine temple. The red of the stop sign, a scripture of deliverance whispering, "You are almost free." So I sprinted down the hill, climbed into my car, turned the keys, and locked the doors. Engine on, I checked my mirrors before driving away, cautious not to celebrate my deliverance too soon. It felt like he was still close, watching and stalking me nearby. And for a brief moment, I thought I actually saw him, a slender silhouette peeking out from behind the exit sign. It was impossibly still, but I imagined he was just waiting there for me, waiting with that psychotic, toothy grin and feral eyes. But as I inched past the exit sign, nothing was there. Just me, silence, and the unsettling absence of a shadow once there. The forest quickly shrank in the mirror as I sped away. Trees swayed and waved goodbye, as if celebrating my defeat. The car's radio signal returned, and my phone's screen flickered back to life, a confirmation that I had survived. Back in the city, the buzz of familiar life returned. I told no one about my trip. What would I even say? That a man in dress shoes stalked me for days through the wilderness. No light, no food, no shelter, only asking for directions, and I just left him there? They wouldn't understand, would they? They couldn't. They'd call it selfish, imagination, or plain madness, and maybe they'd be right. Regardless, life moved on. A year or two passed, while that forest became a distant nightmare. And for a while things were okay, but recently, that changed. At night, I swear I can hear whispers, and during the day, faint footsteps follow me room to room. I live alone, no one's here, yet my home. It feels occupied by something sinister. It started the week I began a new job. The office sits nearby, an area of town I'm already familiar with. So it wasn't until my first day that I noticed the street name, Bell's Canyon Road. Coincidence, I told myself. That's just a coincidence. It has to be, just a coincidence. But each night since, I feel something circling my bed, something pacing the edges of my sleep, its breath rhythmically pulsating against the dark of my bedroom. It's him. I know it is. His presence. It fills the room with the stench of mold. The moment I open my eyes, he's gone. But last night, it was more than just footsteps. I heard his voice, soft as a prayer, yet sharp like a razor. He's been waiting for this moment. The moment I fall asleep. And when I do, when I finally walk that thin edge between waking and dreaming, he leans close. His aura, distorting the world around me. His words, warm and moist against the skin of my cheek. His cadence, gentle yet horrific. Circling and repeating his incessant question over and over.
Bell's Canyon. Bell's Canyon. Do you know the way to Bell's Canyon?